It's been about 7 weeks since I've done a video. And knowing that the intention of this blog was for me to do one video per week and to express what it is that I am feeling on the path as I move forward. So knowing that I kind of went against that intention does bother me. And I also stand for consistency. So I've been inconsistent in my creation of videos because I haven't done one for 7 weeks. And I wanted to share with you a couple of reasons that I didn't allow myself to express via video. And certainly the reasons are not, from a space of having to explain myself, and yet even hearing it myself, I am trusting that will support me to release whatever residual block may be remaining and allow myself to continue forward with consistency. So the last outline for a video that I wrote was the day of the United States 2016 elections. And now the thing is, I didn't vote. In fact, I've never voted. And even though I am grateful to be, here we go, or we might be getting some negative comments on this, even though I am grateful to be living on a part of our planet called the United States of America for the opportunities I've had as an immigrant to this country, I have been evolving. And my consciousness has been expanding, and I do feel that the political system in perhaps all countries and also in the US is based on distorted masculine and distorted feminine energies. Distorted masculine energies that are based on power and greed and destruction, and distorted feminine energies that are based on competition and gossip and trying to bring the other side down and so forth. And so I for that reason, I authentically don't resonate with the system itself. And so I felt like it was more authentic for me to trust that feeling and knowing and not subscribe to it. Now, having said that, I did write the outline for a video on the election day that I felt I would be taping the next day. And it was based on a certain female candidate winning the presidency. And beyond politics, it was deep down in a way about celebrating what I felt to be a possible shift in the female gender. And so I wrote that outline. It was, kind of celebrating that forward movement, that beyond politics, beyond Benghazi and emails and, foundations and so forth, that we as a group, a community, as women, had chosen to give it a go and let a woman be in power. And so secretly, deep down within myself, I wanted that. Now, I wasn't aware throughout the whole election cycle, I wasn't aware of that energy as much as I became aware of it the next morning, the morning where it was announced who was going to be president. And when I saw it on a news site on the internet, I felt this sense of terror inside of me, and I was very surprised by that. I felt like I can't even describe the words for it as much as perhaps that glass ceiling that I never thought applied to me, because I've been definitely allowing myself to step on my path, to be courageous, to be inspiration in action. And so I never thought that whole glass ceiling concept was something that applied to me, because I was going to go beyond that. And I was going to create in my life, personally and professionally, according to just rising above whatever limitation that I perceived, or even any limitation that perhaps was real. outside of me, that I was going to go beyond that. And I felt like I've been living in that way over the past at least, 20 years since I've been finding myself on this path of personal development. And that morning, I felt this sense of glass ceiling, that I hadn't felt before. And I feel like it was put together and kept together within me viscerally with the energy of pain. And I felt like that pain represented something within the female gender. In a way, I felt like that glass ceiling wasn't imposed by, let's say, men on women. I felt like that glass ceiling that I experienced that morning was something that was created by women being afraid of one another's power, and therefore not wanting to support that. And in that, I felt a tremendous amount of terror. And I also looked at the outline of the video that I had written, and it had become so vastly irrelevant. So in a way, I was in shock that something that I thought was an authentic part of my voice that I was going to be creating via this video or via a video was now so out there and not relevant to who we are as humanity. And I didn't realize it at that time, but what happened was I didn't do a video that day. And then the next week I didn't do a video. And then the week after I didn't do a video. And I started to feel like there were some blocks within me, because I do diagnose my own inner blocks, with courage often. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I couldn't recognize why. And it wasn't really until a couple of weeks ago where this sense of visceral trauma that I had experienced that morning came up into my consciousness again. And I recognized that's one of the reasons why I stopped doing videos. Now, I always take a look at an inner block and say, okay, it's real. Let me acknowledge it. Let me release it. And in a way, I also see that it's been a perception. It's been something that I've assumed about myself or my path. So in a way, it is an excuse. And how I'm feeling right now about this whole thing, as far as women and support and celebrating success for one another, celebrating another woman's power, and wanting to support that. Where I am with that is I do still feel a sense of pain, and I am wondering, is there some deep down feminist inside of me that I didn't know I had? Because for years I've been saying, let's go beyond all the isms, including feminism as well. And I don't have this need to seek equality because I do feel confident with my inner power to create the kind of quality of life that I desire, personally and professionally. And yet, I have been feeling this sense of confusion, okay, am I a little bit of a feminist? And is it a part of me that I am not acknowledging? And if so, is this, as they say, is it a positive part of me, or is this a shadow part of me? And so I've been feeling all of that. And today I just felt like, okay, kind of like enough is enough, enough, ENOUFF. And I said to myself, enough. Sit in front of the camera and just express that. And you might see that my eyes are a little bloated. It feels like that anyway, because while I was putting some makeup on, I just couldn't stop crying. I couldn't stop feeling the emotions, and knowing that I was going to be kind of putting myself out there on this video and sharing about what I used as an excuse or what was really happening within me, and the combination of both is really the case, to not express myself, and what I'm learning from that, and how I'm going to go through that and grow from it. What I'm learning from it and how I'm going to grow through it are perhaps elements I'll be expressing in upcoming videos. Thanks for listening.